100 yard dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, man, oh there with the hands. Thought he could guard me, I ruin they plans. I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, 100 yard dash, 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 yeah. They can't catch up cause they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs. Stay on attack when I tackle like damager. They react and play it back on the camera. Hot boy, just consider me flammable. Sure shot, I got all the intangibles. Need a leash, I'm a beast, I'm an animal. Eat the competition up like a Hannibal. Know the game like I wrote up the manual. I do weekly what you do on the annual. MVP, that decision unanimous. Big dials, I don't think they can handle this. Battlefield, it's just me and my warriors. Guaranteed we emerging victorious. Years, blood, sweat, tears, it's glorious. I remember when they always ignoring us. Dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, man, oh there with the hands. Thought he could guard me, I ruin they plans. I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash. They slept on the team that they owe me. I need a ring and a trophy. I say I'm the best cause I am. It's no need in keeping it low-key. I can carve up the D like a turkey or run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. I put on the Jets. The coach will regret even letting them stay in the game. Team morale took a tumble. Next time be humble. I'm the lion in the jungle. You just try not to fumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Never slip nor stumble. I take off, poof, magic. Now watch me juke through the traffic. Footwork fantastic. Dominating every facet. Treat the pocket like plastic. Here come the blitz, pass it. Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash.
This ain't nothing for the pack. Got 16 sitting in the lag. Whole squad all dressing all black. Every single last one of them got my back. Hey, 20 of us, that's 20 goons. And a ice cream whip, triple scoop. I got 3 strikes, ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line, what you gonna do? Come on, I'm highly favored. Don't wanna play me, no conversation, ain't got time for no debating. It's for the taking, no hesitation. Don't try my patience. I'ma pour out one for the set, boy, till there's nothing left. On a run to the bread until we all got them baguettes. Hear them footsteps coming, cause we coming for the check. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I can never switch, not a day in my life. Long as my dogs stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die, die, die. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I can never switch, not a day in my life. As long as my dogs stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die, die, die.
Well, it was a common sight in the 80s and 90s, not quite as frequent since, but it's back. Playoff football in the Bay Area here at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a short time ago, this crowd, they love their 49ers, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room, and we're ready for football as the 49ers get set to do battle with the Seattle Seahawks. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Like 20. 56. Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
Now a man who really stepped up last year. This is Matt Breida. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down. Matt Breida out of Georgia Southern now in his 3rd year in a 49er uniform. He was tough to keep off the field last year. Very good yards per carry. 5.3 on 153 attempts. Good for over 800 yards rushing. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Throwing now is Garoppolo. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Levine Toilolo, the tight end, is intended target. And it's 3rd and 5.
You put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender. But you also have to give your own guy a chance, too.
There's Garoppolo to throw. And able to haul it in is Kittle. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as a tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 43. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 43. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. A little too aggressive defensively, and the flag comes out.
And no one trying to cover is going to like a call going against them, but you have to like the effort there. Went for the interception, just unable to get it, and the flag did come out.
On 1st down, here's Breida. Tackle made by Ziggy Ansah.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Garoppolo. They'll set up a screen for Breida. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. On 2nd down, a run with Breida. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home, the next guy comes.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Brad McDougald. He's coming off a 3-interception performance last week, so certainly not how he wanted to start here.
Not at all, but this is where a quarterback gets tested. This is where we find out what he has underneath that jersey, because he had a bad game last week. Can he shake off a bad start to this one and start to perform at the level he expects?
Come on, set. 10 logo. Check, X3. 218, jump. Set it time.
After the interception, here's Kessler. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
On 2nd and 10, Kessler, pass incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
On 3rd down, Kessler, he lets it fly for Lockett. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. What a play that turns out to be, 36 yards. This is Chris Carson, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
From the 41, Kessler. And now look at him go. 20, 10, and into the end zone. A pick six for the 49er D as they scored a touchdown. So a dangerous pass over the middle into zone coverage, and it bit him hard.
And what's really difficult when you throw it in that direction and versus that zone, that means the linebackers have gotten to their spot, gotten their heads back around, and they can see the quarterback and everything in front of them. And they took big advantage of it, went the other direction, excellent blocking, and picked up a touchdown.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. D Ford, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes.
And the pressure gets to him again. DeForest Buckner with a sack, the former number 7 overall pick. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
They'll start on the ground with Breida. And he loses the football a second time. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
Snap comes at 1. Garoppolo. Incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Garoppolo after the fake give to Breida. And the throw there going to be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. A 46-yard boot, but just 36 following a pretty decent return of 10 yards. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field.
Hey, high 7. 54, right there, 54 Mike. Oh, yeah, and here we go again. Hey, one set, Christian travel. 54, Mike, 54. He can't hang. He's not going to get me.
On first down, Kessler. And he whips that one incomplete there. Chris Carson, the intended receiver. And now it's second down.
It's now second and 10.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's second and 10.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
Now a give, right side. It's Carson. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first.
A good run there off right tackle in an old school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009-2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
Now it's the backup Smith. That's complete into the hands of Carson. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Complete to Chris Carson.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Throwing again on second down. Smith into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off down at the 2. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And that's now the second time he's picked off a pass here in the first half alone. Again, another great read defensively, and you just see him get in the right position to make the play and get his guys the football back.
They'll begin the drive with Breida, and that won't buy him much room. Just a 1-yard gain to the 5.
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage. Here's a quick hitch route, and the throw complete. And he's able to get this one up to the 8-yard line this time.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he get a good head of steam going.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. 15 for the Niners there and a first down.
Here we go. 56, right there, 56.
Garoppolo gives to Breida. A big seam, and he might go all the way. Touchdown, 49ers. Matt Breida, 77 yards. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Well called, well blocked, and then he just made a great play. That was an athlete going a long way.
Yeah, how about the suddenness to it? Just getting there and taking off and going. For the defensive guys, plays like that really hurt.
Gold able to tack on the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points get that 0. He rifles one that's intercepted. He's picked off near his own 48.
So that's back-to-back drives where they throw in an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
So after the INT, it's Garoppolo. And this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. 13 yards there and a Niner first.
Here we go.
Gotta love the catch. I think you gotta love the gloves as well.
Yeah, these one-handed catches, that was great, and they're fun. They become a little more, and he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. To try again after the sack, Garoppolo. He's got him in, complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. That one goes for 24 yards. They'll try to run with Breida. And that'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line. A loss of 2 there, second down.
Here we go.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, second and goal.
Joker. White. 56 is the mic. Watch the out.
Out of the shotgun, Breida. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
Here we go.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Garoppolo now, just what Seattle was hoping for. The coverage holds, and now fourth down.
All right, let's go ahead and try and get into the body and the mind of the linebackers. Yeah, I know they're bigger and stronger than I ever was, but in this situation, they understood what was going on as much as the offensive guys, because the offensive guys always taught, find the first down sticks and make the play. On defense, what do you want to do? Guard the first down line. Make sure they don't get there and tackle them in front. They were able to drop in their zone coverage, figure out where the first down line was, and end up making the play, swatting it away so they couldn't get the completion.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but hold on, he's coming.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Only 3 there on the screen. It's second down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed, but all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
Quit talking about it and bring it. Right there, 54, right there.
Looking to throw again on second down. Smith, he'll find Metcalf, and he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. This guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Smith now 4 of 6 since taking over, and he's got a first down. Smith throwing again. Here's Carson with a catch out of the backfield. And he is out of bounds bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Now it's Smith, and he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Tyler Lockett, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Myers connects on the PAT, and that'll cut the lead to 17-7. So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
Here we go.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You've got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your...
And got his man complete. And he's going to be ripped down by the face mask at the end of this, and that's going to add 15 more onto the end of this thing. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. On play action, it's Garoppolo. It's caught by Sanders. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. Throwing on first is Garoppolo. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Got the connection here to Bourne. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal. So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? They run with Breida, and he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. On 2nd and goal, Garoppolo. That is caught by the tight end, Kittle. Touchdown, 49ers. George Kittle in the final seconds of the first half. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. That'll pick up the first down for Seattle on a gain of 18.
First down, Seahawks.
We got this.
Kessler now on first down. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 34. Now it's Carson. And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
2nd and 5 now. Kessler. Oh, he tries to get it to Metcalf, but it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Richard Sherman. And the return goes up to his own 17-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
The Niners have the 1st down on a gain of 11. They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Call that a very strong gain of 24. Running out of the gun here, Breida. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Play action, Garoppolo. He'll get this into the hands of Breida. And he gets it down to the 32.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
The Sanders has got it complete. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. Here's Breida. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. So 2 plays with only negative yardage to show, and now it's 3rd and 16. Looking to throw. Garoppolo completes it to Samuel. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 13-yard line.
Here we go.
Garoppolo and the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Now it's Breida. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. The former #1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney, in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. On 3rd down, a run from Breida. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's 49er football here. They've got the lead as well as we get set to start the 4th and final quarter. And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the 4th quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, you know, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeForest Buckner able to record his 5th sack of the season. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Here's Carson. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down. So from second and long, now we go to third and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in four-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. They get 5, and it will go ahead and move the chains. This quarterback now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. First and 10.
54 is Mike. Check, watch 54, watch 54. I got you.
Working from the gun, Kessler. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. The rookie DK Metcalf, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
Pick it up, defense. Let's go.
They run it with Carson. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
The Seahawks on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. From the shotgun, Kessler. Open man is Gordon, complete. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down.
First down, Seahawks.
They go play action with Kessler, sliding out of the pocket. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off down near the 5. And the return will stop them well inside their own 20 at the 15-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
Here we go. 180. 12, here we go.
Throwing on second down. Garoppolo in trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Unable to stop KJ right there as he slips by for the sack. Well, that last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a 3rd and long. He's got his man. It's Kendrick Bourne. A pickup of 27, and they pick up the first down in the process.
Here we go.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a play fake. Garoppolo taking a shot for Samuel. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. Charles, thinking back to what you said in the first quarter, that part of the magic elixir for a road victory for these underdogs was going to be winning the turnover battle. Well, they only have one right now. Look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, not exactly playing to the form that I subscribed, right? When you talk about winning that turnover battle, that evens things out, especially for a road team, especially for a team that's an underdog.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They run again with Breida. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the first down. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Now it's Lockett. A 46-yard punt, 4-yard return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
At their own 18-yard line.
Come
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to play.
And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by the safety, Jarquiski Tart. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line.
Here we go, here we go. 180!
This is Breida. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Here we go.
No gain on the play there. Second down. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Breida. The second down play, not much better than the first. Just a gain of 1 there.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. So the victory here for San Francisco, and it was a bit of a strange game. They were held scoreless through the entire second half, but their first half output, that's enough to carry them to victory.
And that's an odd game to watch, isn't it? Because when we saw the output in the first half, you think to yourself, okay, they've got something working here. They know what they're doing. They'll continue that along. But instead, it's goose eggs in the second half. Fortunately, enough of a cushion and enough defense to carry them home.
So for the Niners, the win gets them back over 500 at 5-4 on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, it's a loss that'll drop them back to 500 through 10 games. And they'll get a late bye next week, which might be coming at the right time. And they'll be back in action in Week 12.